Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. This is a 2009 Volkswagen Scirocco. This one here bought from auction here in Japan for export over to Canada, which is great because Canada never got the Scirocco. This is a 2-liter turbo version from 2009 with 91,000 original kilometers on it, and will be shipped off to Canada as soon as we can get a vessel. At the moment, vessels to Canada are a little delayed, but it still should ship there in a couple of months or so. Now the 2-liter TSI turbo is a direct injected, turbocharged 2-liter, puts out 208 horsepower, or basically 210. It's a very common engine to find in Volkswagens in many of their models, easy to get parts for. And for the most part, I believe that this is just a Volkswagen Golf with a more sleek and sporty body on it. I'll give you a quick little rev. It has a nice burble to it, doesn't it? And we'll come back to the interior, but for now, the engine, our coolant, and our oil both check out okay. And there's really nothing mechanically wrong with the car. It seems like the AC works, the power steering works, the brakes feel fine, everything appears to be okay. The electronics in the car work fine, which is kind of funny because it is a Volkswagen and they are notorious for having electronic problems. I know that because I've had several of them. I've never had a Scirocco though. This one, automatic transmission, or the DSG, pardon me. And so it does have the lightning quick gear shifts, like a Gallardo. Basically, it is the same, pretty much the exact same system. Twin clutch. And so it spins up your next gear in preparation for you to shift, and that's why it's so quick. It is a very cool transmission. It has the flappy paddles, which is what people tend to like. I can't get this open. It's so hard to line up. It doesn't have the manual transmission. You can get them with a manual, but this one is not. And here in Japan, the manuals are going to be pretty rare. People just don't like manuals with Volkswagen because Volkswagen here in Japan is seen as upmarket, and manual transmission is often by many people seen as lower market. Okay, so let's go over the auction inspection sheet. You guys probably already saw it. It has a spot of peeling paint on the hood. That's probably the worst of it. The rest of the car is generally pretty good, but it has a few things, so let's get into it. It's a 2009 Volkswagen Scirocco 2.0 TSI, auction rate 3.5 with an interior D and an exterior C. 91,272 kilometers with leather seat, original Navi, corner sensors. And then the report here says windshield rock chip, which shouldn't really be big enough to mention. Rock chips are generally really tiny. And then interior dirty and wear, headliner saggy, and they've kind of put it back together with some pins. I'll show you that. Seat has wrinkles in it. It's a leather seat, tan leather seat. Exterior has some various scuffs on it. Oil leak. Now, I couldn't find any oil leak anywhere from the top of the engine. Couldn't see it. From the bottom, I don't see any, nothing drips down. And then there are no points on the undercover that look caked in oil, or at least saturated in oil. So I would say it's not a problem for shipping. If you see this on an auction inspection sheet though, keep in mind if it is dripping down, you need to get that fixed before you can ship the car. So it says peeling paint on the hood. Underside of the front bumper is scuffed. There's A2 scratches on the front corner here and A2 on this side. That's medium scratches in both cases. But I'd say that both of these are fairly light and nothing I would really worry about. Okay, so the car is a little hazy at the moment, and it looks like with a proper clean and polish, you're going to get that nice and bright again. But the car isn't going to look as good in this video as it will once it's been cleaned. Okay, I don't know about the weight of this, but if I were to guess, I'd say somewhere around 1350 kilos. You guys already know because the intro to the video is going to show you. That's stock exhaust on there. And I believe that these are either the stock wheels or they are an optional wheel that you can get. The previous owner has opted for a cheap tire, High Fly, but they're from 2020, lots of tread, and they have DOT on them, so they're going to be legal for Canada. As far as I know, the car isn't modified in any way, which is pretty much what you'll find with most Volkswagens. People in Japan are afraid of basically any brand that is not Japanese for reliability reasons. And they just don't have an aftermarket for parts for modifying the cars here. You can get stuff imported from like Germany or the UK or something, but it tends to be really expensive to do that. But we know because we have a Lupo for one of our race cars, a Volkswagen Lupo. I love the car, but we've probably spent twice as much modifying it as if it were a Japanese car, which is a little sad to think. But when your heart says you need a Lupo GTI, you need a Lupo GTI. And that's what happened to me. So, love the aggressive angular front end, especially in Canada. If you've never even known about this model, and you see one on the road and you know it's a Volkswagen, because, you know, it does look very Volkswagen-like, it's going to be quite shocking to you. And I think that that's going to be the appeal. This one's actually going to be sold in, it was bought by somebody in Canada for the purpose of reselling. And as such, you will probably see it for sale at some time. Probably with a painted hood, I would think. And so yes, it has clear coat peeled on here. And then the front end, our A2 is a couple of little scuffs there, and some scratches in this area here. Headlights are fairly faded. Not only faded, but they have this weird little dotty look to them. It's like somebody put some sort of a finish on there, and then that, or like UV protectant film, not film, spray. And then that stuff got too hot and started to bead up. It's a little bit weird. I think you should be able to polish those out without an issue. And then underside scuffs are pretty common in Japan. So if you look under here, you can see quite a few scuffs. A little bit on the front facing area that you can actually see over here as well. But for the most part, if it is underneath the front bumper, you're not going to be able to see that. Coming down the side now, I think we're looking pretty good. I don't think there's really anything on this side to mention. A couple of minor scratches here and there. There's one here. There's another couple here, actually. Oh, that's nothing. They disappear when you touch them. You can fix the car just by touching it. Actually, yeah, have a few light ones. Nothing that stands out, nothing that you can't polish away. And yes, it absolutely needs a polish. Like, that should be much more black than it is. But if you give it like the finger polish, it'll go shiny again. The same couldn't be said for the rear spoiler though. I'm pretty sure that this is just faded. Okay. Coming down this side, and the auction sheet said that there was an A2 on this side, and I couldn't really find anything that I would consider to be an A2. Like the other side, there are a few minor scratches. There's some chips along the edge of the door here, and then some minor ones around the door handle here, but nothing that I would consider an A2, which is a medium scratch. Okay, and I like the wheels on it. Just give you a look. It's a 235, so quite a wide tire. And then, yeah, I think the wheels look good. I think aftermarket wheels would look better. But if you don't want to fork over the money quite yet, I think that these are still a very attractive wheel on the car. Okay, let's go to the interior now. And can you pop it from the boot? Oh, by the way, the how would you even pop that? Where's the pop for the back? Is it down here?
You open it on the interior and it pops, but you gotta have the battery connected.
So the car has no pop for the back, from the back. I hate it when they do that. And then the battery needs to be connected in order to open up, I believe, because the battery's dead. But there still was a little bit of juice left in, so we could still open that up. It's okay. Okay, probably about 60% the size of a Volkswagen Golf in the trunk here. And you have a pretty high loading shelf. You have to drop stuff right in. Still has a tonneau cover in here. Everything appears to be in good condition. The sound deadening mat is all bunched up. Oh, it's soft. You could use this as a blanket. But you probably don't want to inhale the fibers while you're using that as a blanket, so don't try it. But in an emergency, right, you've always got a little blanket. And if you wrap yourself in it and scream, nobody will be able to hear you. It's a sound deadening blanket. Okay, so the interior looks cool. It has the leather seats, nice ribbing. I guess it's, I don't know, Jacob, you're from the UK where you actually have these. Would you say that the Scirocco is a premium model compared to the Golf?
Over the standard like 2 litre Golf, I would say so, yeah. It's aimed at more people for a sporty look, like you say.
Are they more expensive, do you know?
Yeah, more expensive.
A little bit creaky when you grab that. Yeah. The folding mirrors work well, power steering works well. The steering wheel has controls on it, which is nice. You have a flat bottom, if you like that kind of thing. And then the seats, let's have a quick look at those. Quite well bolstered and sporty looking. It kind of gives me a Audi TT flavor to it. Okay. Let's go now to sit in it. Plenty of room, especially for big drivers in the front. I can't say the same for the back seats. I think it'd be pretty tight in there. Regular Volkswagen controls there. You have a perforated leather steering wheel. The gauge set is very, very, Mark IV, Mark V, Mark VI looking for the Golfs. And no pixels are missing in here, which is something to watch out for in many Volkswagens and Audis. Okay, it's simple, but it's nice. I like the design. Having the chrome surrounding the vents here is nice. And then the brushed chrome. Look around here. Heated seats for driver and passenger. And then easy controls for vents here, legs here, and the windshield vent up there. Controls for cold, hot, fan speed, shifter here, and then shift yourself, shift down, shift up. With a very short throw in the click, which will make it feel a little bit more nippy when you're driving it. Sometimes I feel like the throw is too long. And also, this is important. These go with the steering wheel. So if you are steering with your hands around, like this, moving your hands around, you'll have to move them back to the base position to shift it. But this is actually the better of the two, because when you're doing spirited driving, you usually won't be moving your hands on the steering wheel. You should be 9 and 3. So airbag here, airbag there. B pillar, I don't see one. A pillar, yes. Okay, so 4 airbags in here. Ashtray hasn't been used, doesn't smell of cigs in here. Cigarette lighter has never been used. But you do have to have the ashtray open in order to plug something into it, which is a little bit, annoying. A lot of newer cars now are just doing the cigarette lighter without having an ashtray in the car. So you don't have to have a stupid looking ashtray open at all times if you want to use that. It looks like it has a tire pressure warning system, EPS off button, and comfort or sport suspension. Okay, a couple of cup holders here, an auxiliary in, place for an iPhone, I guess, and a media in. There's a USB. Interesting. So headliner. I said that the headliner was saggy and put together with pins. Let's have a quick look at that. I'll have to get out to show you that. And I think they did a pretty good job, all things considered, but it's not perfect, right? And it goes the same all the way back. Can't get a focus there. Yeah, not the best, honestly. It is a Euro car from Japan. Saggy headliners is a big issue. And I just want to have another peek now at the back seats. I want to see exactly how much room that you get. And so it's serviceable, especially if it's kids. Adults could possibly do it. You'd have to tuck your feet underneath the seats in order to do that properly. I do really like the look of those back seats, though. They look comfortable and nice. Same with the front seats. And so I guess it's like a premium Golf, premium/sporty Golf. It has a lot of Audi undertones to it. And a cool little car. I think if you're looking for something to own in Canada, you're going to get a lot of views, a lot of people asking you about the car when you buy one of these. So that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.